Good afternoon, Chair Curry McCurdy, and Ranking Members Bethel, esteemed members of the General Assembly Education Committee. I'm John Board. I'm submitting testimony on 6207, which has now merged into 1166, and the financial literacy bill. I first want to thank Representatives Rochelle and Paris for bringing these bills, both the SEL and the financial literacy, to the forefront of this committee's discourse. As we continue to transition out of the pandemic, it's essential that we have support systems in place for our students so then they can reach their full potential. One of the most important things that we should take away out of the pandemic is the importance of having human connection and compassion with one another. Equipping students with the ability to handle these personal problems can help them navigate their lives. As it relates to 1165, I can still remember to this day sitting in my 4th grade classroom learning how to write a checkbook and balance a checkbook. I can also remember sitting in personal finance and life skills class at Joel Barlow High School, and I would encourage actually the state to look at Joel Barlow's personal finance course as a model for how we can implement this statewide. If we think about education as a cradle-to-grave approach, students can learn about savings plans in 1st grade, introduce the concept of credit in 5th grade, talk about the stock market in 7th grade, and then in high school learn about international monetary policy. The classroom is a student's first exposure to the real world, and there's an obligation to set up a student for success. Candidly, I think we should be going a lot further and having a Skills 101 approach, Skills for a Better Life curriculum overall, and that can, range from everything from household repairs to emergency preparedness, time management, financial skills, career pathways. I can go on and on and on, but I hope that members of this committee will read my expanded testimony. And with that, I would encourage the committee to vote yes on 1165 and 1166. And I'm prepared to answer any questions that members of the committee may have. Thank you.
I do not see any questions or comments, John. Oh, Representative Howard.
Thank you. John, do you mind us asking what year you graduated high school?
I'm going to be aging myself a little bit here. 2012.
So you graduated in 2012, and you had financial literacy in your high school, is that what you said?
Yes, we did. I would defer to Representative Poulos in terms of when that came into Barlow's curriculum, but I know it's been around for some time beforehand.
Okay, and you found it beneficial to you and your life as an adult?
Absolutely, and I think that we need this, I think, earlier and earlier. I definitely agree with the previous testifiers that we need it right before we get out into the real world, but I think more and more, especially, let's be honest, after, if I'm being candid, after Sandy Hook, I think a lot of students have started to mature at a younger and younger age. So I think even introducing some of these concepts in middle school may be helpful.
Yeah, well, the chairman made that point a bit earlier, but I do appreciate your testimony.
Thank you.
Representative Poulos.
A comment. I want to congratulate Mr. Board on his testimony as his former teacher and advisor on the student council. I'm very proud of him here today. His testimony is powerful because it comes from a former student, and I just want to emphasize at this point, when we do consider these changes, it's best to always engage as many active classroom teachers as possible and school administrators, counselors in that conversation so we can best assess the impact of these decisions on schools. But I do agree with Mr. Board with the K-12 integration of not just the financial literacy, but of the social and emotional learning. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, Mr. Poulos.
Any other questions or comments? I don't see any online. Mr. Board, thank you very much for your testimony today and appreciate the shout out of the legislators. We did have a number of proposals on both sides of the aisle for this piece of legislation this year, so hopefully we will actually get this done. Thank you.
Hopefully. Thank you. Thank you, Representative.
Next up, we